Hey guys, it's Ben with Practical Junk, and I had an issue when I first started raising quail. The first year, every hatch I started putting these little pebbles inside the water. I've got that little small chick water that everybody uses, and man, it worked great. It kept my little quail from getting in the water and getting soaking wet, but the pebbles would get a smell to them from them kicking the poo in there, kicking the food into the water, and I would have to clean the pebbles every day, change the water every day. It kind of started, it's a chore the first few days until you can get the pebbles out of it. And usually day 4 or 5, I was raising the little waterer because I felt comfortable they could reach it. I tried something. I raised the water after 24 to 36 hours, and I removed the pebbles, and it has worked great for me. Now, luckily, I have an enclosed brooder. It is completely temperature controlled that I built, but a lot of you don't. You just got a heat lamp, which it works great, but if they get wet and they're not under the heat lamp, unfortunately, I've seen a lot of people say that their birds have died on forums, and it's been an issue. So I've got a very simple solution, which I made out of some junk that I had laying around. So check it out, and I'm gonna show you what I did. Here's what I use the first 2 weeks. Now, right here is the little standard, little giant chick water. It's got the little bitty edge here. A lot of people put the little stones in there. You know what, I do that for, like I said, the first day. But then, you measure the bottom of this, it's right at about 3 3/4. And if you look really carefully, it's got a little recess in the center. That's right at 2 3/4. So that's very important to know here. And right here, I've got a hole saw, and I cut this piece of wood right here, and it fits right around that perfect. Now this is very important. If you put something under this, it's got to fit pretty doggone close to the edges. Why does it have to fit close to the edges? Because if you put something smaller, it's going to tip over, or they can get packed under it as they grow. Yes, they will find a way to get under there and get stuck. Don't want that to happen. So I'll do this right here for the first week. Then they're going to start growing. What are we going to do now? They can jump in it. They're kicking stuff into it. Notice I've got this one right here. It's got a dowel in it. Same size. I stack them. And the great thing about this dowel is, I can do this, it sticks up just barely above this. I found a piece of plastic. This little piece of plastic inserts right here into the bottom of this. Look at that. I mean, just perfectly. It's maybe right at about 1/8 of an inch thick. But I stack these. I put this piece of plastic on the top, and it makes that one good secure piece. Then what happens? You got your water. You stack it up here. It makes it harder for them to knock the water off, because that little piece of plastic is recessing into this. Now you could build this in different ways, but I tell you what, this has been very effective for me the first 2 weeks. Now at 2 weeks, I've got a little small food container like for storage in your house. I've got 2 chicken nipples in it. At 2 weeks, they come off this and they get the chicken nipples. But that is just high enough. They can get up there to it. It's hard for they can't just run in there and lay in the water and get soaking wet. I put this in here, and I can honestly say this is the first time all of my birds are still fluffy. None of them have laid in it. None of them got soaking wet yet. So it's worked really well. Hopefully this will help somebody else out there. They do actually make hangers for these too. And I've thought about getting one and, putting a rod or something across it and hang it. And you can adjust the height on it slowly. Those will work well. Probably work pretty good. I might check one of those out one day. But this is a quick, cheap, easy fix. If you got a hole saw 3 to 4 inches, get a piece of wood, drill it out, and raise that up. All right, so 2 weeks, I've got a couple of those little small chick waterers, 2 weeks old. That's usually about the time they start knocking the water down. They're drinking it really fast. And they need to come off that little chick water. So what I started doing is I started getting a little food container, put a couple chicken nipples in it, and I'd hang it in the wall of my brooders. So let me show you those, and it's something relatively inexpensive you can get. You can find them at, garage sales and people clearing out, stuff they're not using. And a lot of people get rid of these for nothing. I mean, you can go buy them for 10 or 15 bucks, but don't get the cheap ones. I picked up some cheap ones for like $1, and they, the plastic is so thin, it breaks when you're trying to drill through it. It doesn't hold very well, but let's check these out that I'm currently using. All right, here are the amazing little waterers that I made. They're just small enough you can actually kind of hang them on the wall. I actually use an old dog collar I screwed to the wall, and it clips, and when it sags down, it holds it to the wall perfect. This allows me to raise and adjust it, but you'll see that here in just a minute. But these are what I use. This one I use in my small brooder. This one holds about 1 gallon of water. I just upgraded and built a larger brooder, so I've got that in there, which I need to try to find another similar container to this. But you can pick these up really cheap. You drive by a yard sale, man, you'd be amazed. They sell them for just a couple of bucks. But 2 weeks, they're just big enough to where they will figure out really quick how to drink out of these. It's less mess, less cleaning, more efficient water use, and it gets them trained up so when you want to put them outside, they're already used to these. I absolutely love them. Like I said, so much less maintenance with these. At 2 weeks old, they're the perfect size to start using these chicken nipples. Here's my little baby brooder right here, which right now I've got some larger birds in it. But this thing works really great. It's just tension held up there, and I can tighten that up and raise it up and adjust the height perfectly. Guys are talking over here. But this works really well. Let's check out my other one. Effectively. I use just a little bit different system in here because this is metal walls. So I found some large magnets, and they work really well to hold this up here. Had another old dog collar laying around. I do have a board under this. I'm really afraid they're gonna knock it down because it's just magnets, so I haven't exactly just let it go. But it makes it really so I can move this around wherever I want to, and it's not in a stationary spot. So really love how this one's turning out. And like I said, I can move them around. I'm actually duplicating this, so if I got to divide this pin out, I can have 2 of these and 2 waterers I can move in any position I need them. Thanks for watching the video. I hope this inspires you to be creative, find a solution, and make something that's going to help and benefit your setup and how you choose to raise quail. There's a lot of different ways, to do this. There's 1,000 different ideas out there, but these are the things that I found that work great for me and are efficient for what I'm doing and how I'm raising quail. Use it, duplicate it, find a better way. Help me out. If you find something better, I want to know about it. There's a lot of great info out there, a lot of different ideas, but you've always got to find what works best for you and on your adventure of raising quail. Thank you so much for watching the video. Like, subscribe. Always trying to come up and create new ideas to simple solutions and simple problems. Guys, y'all have a blessed day.